Like, thank you all for being here today. Wow, it's been a crazy day today. I'm just sitting down now to do this video. I had about probably, 40 minutes to myself, which is not enough time, but it's been a really busy day today. But I'm showing up because, I said I would be here. And yesterday it was just too late when I came in. So I hope you guys had a good day. Happy Wednesday's just about over with. And I'm just showing up here to check in with you guys and to see how your day is going, how your week is going. And if you guys are getting any help from the information that's being provided here. Does it resonate with you? And if so, the stories that I share with you about the experiences I had with grief and healing, pain, and how I've been getting through it, I'm hoping that it's resonating with many of you because these are the ways that I've gotten through these really difficult and hard times. And I did it alone. And when I say alone, just God and me, and I didn't have a support system, which makes it even that much more difficult. But thank you guys for being here. Thank you for those who just recently subscribed. Thank you, all of my subscribers. But I noticed that there was a few that recently showed up here. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your support. I want to reach as many people as possible because people need to hear these messages. They need to know that if I can do this without a support system and just with God, that you guys can do this too. Because some of you have a support system where even though you're going through trials and tribulations, you have someone there who will listen and just support you. I didn't have any of that, and if you do, thank God for it because I didn't have that. I had to be sat down alone with no support system and just God, me, and tears and pain and everything else that goes along with it. So, guys, thank you again. Let's get into this topic of discussion. And the topic of discussion today is you deserve love. You know, when you make a conscious decision and you're serious about it to heal your pain and put yourself first, you start to understand your self worth. You start to pick yourself back up off the ground because when you deal with a lot of toxicity and abuse, it lowers your self esteem. In fact, it puts your self esteem in a gutter. If you continuously, over and over again, put up with abuse after abuse, toxicity after toxicity, and you're not healing it, it's just going on and spinning on, and you're riding that wheel until the wheel falls off. And when you decide that you're getting off this ride, forever because you have a choice now. The choice is to continue put up with toxicity or choose yourself. And what I did is chose myself because I'm going to tell you guys, let's go way back, okay? Let's go back to our parents. I don't know, whether even if we're culturally different or whatever, back in the 30s and 40s and 50s was a different way of living. Women didn't have a voice as much as they do today. Women couldn't leave an abusive situation and go and take her kids and get support through the system. You know, they, many of them stayed in those situations because they didn't have the support as we do today. And I'm just talking about all types of abuse and toxicity and things like that. So back in the day, they just tolerated and tiptoed around things and tried to, keep things as calm as possible. But today we have so many choices. We have so many support systems out there to help people and men too who are listening to this channel because they go through things as well, toxicity and abuse. So welcome to this channel as well. When you decide that you don't want this anymore and you refuse to put up with it, you go and you take yourself out of that situation and you choose yourself. I was this last situation that I was dealing with, guys. Um, it really, excuse me, helped me to understand that I didn't have to put up with that. Like growing up, people put up with things because it's like, well, you know, it's you're supposed to do it because oh, it's not that bad. And people would tell themselves anything. I was watching a movie a while back, um where this woman was putting up with physical abuse and her mother was telling her, well, he's not doing it all the time, and etc. And I was cringing as I was watching this because your daughter, this woman ended up in a hospital because of the abuse, and it took years and years of therapy for her to heal what was going on because she stayed in an abusive situation. And I know what that's like. People, I was in one for 10 years. Like I said, I couldn't even talk to a stranger without getting permission from the ex narcissist, and the least I am today, I laugh at these things because it's a lesson learned. It wasn't funny back then, really isn't funny, but I had to learn the lessons, and when this last situation, which something happened that really shocked me to my very core, where I said, you know what, it's time to choose me. The hell with all this. I choose me, because it got to that point. And then I started to do the work to heal, which wasn't easy, but I chose myself. And today I'm thankful to God that I did, because who knows where I would be if I was still putting up with this toxicity. Um, when you decide that you're going to heal yourself and put yourself first, as you start to do the work, you start to see your work. And then you say to yourself, why am I putting up with this BS? You see, none of these things are for your highest good. It's not worth it. You have choices. You don't have to deal with toxic situations. You realize that you deserve love instead of the toxicity. You don't deserve to be broken down, busted, and disgusted, and putting up with someone who's or anyone. It doesn't even have to be just a relationship. Just it could be family matters or other things that bring toxicity and stress and hell to your life. You don't have to put up with it. I used to think because we share the same DNA, I have to put up with toxicity from family members. I got to the point where I'm not putting up with anything. I'm not putting up with any of it. I choose me. And I went and healed. And it was hard because sometimes when you make these decisions, even though you make them, they're painful, people, but it's necessary because peace is better than being in this toxicity. You also learn to look at life from a different perspective. As you choose yourself and you start to heal and feel better, you do better, you see things from a different perspective. You don't see things in the same light that, oh, I have to put up with this nonsense and this hell. You don't. You have choices and options. Those are things that you don't see when you're in the midst of toxicity and negativity. But as you take yourself out of the equation of it all and start to heal and do the work, and start the therapy, and as you start to heal, you start to realize that you don't deserve any of it. You start to care for yourself and strive for inner peace. What becomes important in your life is inner peace, being at peace instead of broken down in pieces. And people will treat you the way you allow them to. And I will tell people, you put respect on my name. I don't disrespect anyone, and I don't tolerate disrespect. And someone was doing that, and I was telling them, this is not too long ago, so I block, cut off, and delete. We don't have anything else to say because disrespect is something that I have zero tolerance for. And before I would just cry about these things, but like I said, I'm in a better place because inner peace for me is worth more than $1 million, because you don't have the toxicity. And people, let me tell you this story. When I was in that situation, when I was in upstate New York and dealing with this, and when this narcissistic ex would get angry with me and just try to make me feel like I was the worthless piece of nothing. And then I go to work, and then now you're trying to mess up my job, calling my phone to continue an argument of toxicity and just ringing my phone. I had to keep hanging it up and all this stuff. Thank God I had my own office at that time because, calls would come in because of the work I was doing. But one time my boss came into the office and I tried to play it off. And the least I am today, anyone doing anything like this immediately gets cut off, a restraining order, whatever's necessary. I'll go far left extreme because I refuse to allow toxicity in my life. When someone tells you you have to deal with them, you don't have to deal with it. Like I tell people, peace is better. When you start to take care of yourself and you start to feel better and do better, you strive for that inner peace. And many of us sometimes will decide to leave the past in the past along with the toxicity, because when you set boundaries, sometimes don't like it and they'll try to hop and skip over those boundaries. And if you let them do it, they're going to bring the toxicity with them. So what I do is set the boundaries. When it's disrespected, I'll tell you maybe once, twice, and that's it. I'm blocking, cutting off, and deleting. I don't need, it doesn't matter where it's coming from. I will have that discussion about it. We need to talk about this because this is how this sounds and what it makes me feel like, etc. When a person is like, girl, shut up, sit down kind of attitude, cut off, block, and delete. And there's no more conversation, because why should there be another conversation? You're already showing who you are behind that mask that just fell off. So why do we need to talk about anything else? And this is the point where I am in my life. Inner peace is so calming, not to have the negativity, not to have to come home and argue with somebody and go through hell. What I embrace now besides God is new beginnings. You know, looking forward to new friends, genuine people who really care about me. And that's what I would say to you guys. Look for people who genuinely care about you. You deserve real love, not this fake stuff, not somebody who has a chokehold on you just because, and not because of loneliness or anything. You deserve real love, and respect in a relationship that enhances your life, not bring hell to it. Whether it's a romantic relationship or whether it's family or otherwise, if it's not bringing anything good to your life, then you need to think about setting boundaries, you know? And that's, where I am with this today, because people, you can find real love out there. When you take your time, some people find love later in life and not, you hear these stories. It's out there, but you have to love yourself enough to know what your worth is and what's for your highest good. And if you see something that's, like toxic, and you see a lot of toxicity and you don't want that, then you don't allow it in your life. You set boundaries, you know, and continue to work on your mental and physical health. It's so much negativity in this world today. I watch the news. I only could take 10 minutes of it, if that much, because there's so much toxicity and negativity. And I'll hear what's going on. I get a lot of pop-ups to my phone or computer, whatever, and I find out that way. And, this is going to sound weird, but I'd rather watch some cartoons sometimes or something that's just going to make me laugh or remember a good time, because I don't like a lot of negativity. I address certain things and see it for what it is. But after that, it's enough, because as I heal, I want to embrace new beginnings, people who really care about me, people who support what I'm doing, people who are on the same page with me. That's important as you start to heal, because the toxic individuals that you're healing from, they're going to fall by the wayside when they see that they can't get you to put down your boundaries, to drop your boundaries, and that you're really serious about healing your life. Then they're just going to move on to the next victims. And it's important that not just strive to take care of yourself, but have new beginnings, and know that there are good people out there, and that you know sometimes people have to have, not, how they say that family, we don't get to choose our family, but sometimes our friends and new beginnings and people we meet become our family. It takes the place of what we had that wasn't there in our life. And what I mean by that is, sometimes when one door closes, I know God always open up another door. He always make a way and bring something in our life that's for our highest good, and that's what I'm experiencing. And the inner peace is like I said, is worth more than $1 million, because I don't have the stress of all the craziness and etc. And I'm embracing new beginnings, eventually just making friends, and just little by little. And guys, bring good things in your life, things that uplift you. You're going to have those days that are not so good, but don't stay down. Don't let those things keep you down, and never allow any toxicity or negativity to make you better, because that means that those people, those individuals who are bringing the toxicity, they win if you get better and stay in a place of bitterness. Never allow that. Always strive to heal your mental and physical health and be at peace. Because when you have an inner peace, no one can take that from you. And when you build your relationship with God, you don't have to sit in a church every week to have a relationship with God. You can have a one-on-one with God, and tell him what you need and how you feel, and talk to God, and as you strive to make effort, God will be in the background taking the steps on your behalf when he sees that you're doing the work, and you putting forth the effort. And that those are my personal experiences that I'm sharing with you guys. I would never think at this point in my life that I would be at a place of inner peace, even though the past and all those things that happened that hurt me and I had to heal from it, they were lessons. Remember what I always say in my videos, that people, places, and situations always come into our life for a reason, a season, a lifetime, or a lesson. And most of the times I see it as lessons, that unlearned lessons. And when we don't learn them, we spin on that wheel again, and that lesson come back in a different shape or form, and it's worse than ever until we learn it. So that's the message today, guys. I got to go eat something. And I just wanted to come here and uplift you guys, encourage you. And I'll be back, but I can't tell you what time tomorrow, as I couldn't tell you today. But subscribe to the channel, and you will always get a notification as to when I'm on, and you can come on live. And please share this channel with other people, because people need to be uplifted. Before I leave you today, I want to share something with you as well. When I started this channel too, I was nervous and everything about it. I want to talk about despair, and I'll probably talk a lot about that in the future, because I lost somebody to suicide, and that's huge to me, that somebody is in a place of so much pain and despair that they had to take their own life because of it. And nobody needs to do that. There's help out there for people. And even if you don't want people to know what you're going through, show up to the channel. I will share things little by little. Let me tell you, some of the stuff that I've gone through, I know it's God who brought me through it, because there's no way that I could have came back from what I've gone through without him. One day at a time, everyone, and one step at a time. Nothing ventured is nothing gained. And we're going to be talking about things like that, because people losing their life because of not getting the help, or not having the support, or more importantly, being at a place of feeling hopelessness and despair. No one should ever have to be in that state of mind. That's why it's important to heal, because when we heal, we grow and evolve. And then we get the victory from those who want to see us broken down, busted, and disgusted. When we heal and we do well in life, and we grow and evolve and we helping other people, then that's our success right there. You know, that's the message today, guys. I hope this resonates with some of you or all of you today. And come back again tomorrow for another message. And thank you for being here. Remember, it is better to be at peace than to be in pieces. Thank you all. This is Lisa shedding love and light, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night. Bye for now.